This is Gemara in Gittin, Daf Non Zayin, and we're holding in the bottom of Nun Vav Amud Beis. We are 5 lines from the bottom, in the middle of discussing the famous and incredible story of Kamsa Bar Kamsa, of unfortunately the Chorban Beis HaMikdash. As we continue now that we're finally up to the death of Titus Arasha, as the Yitosh, as the gnat has emerged from his brain, and we ended off that the pivish on the Chayshes Utziparnav Shel Barzel. And now the Gemara continues 5 lines from the bottom. Ki havikamayis, as Titus is dying, Amar Lahu, Titus says to those who are there, Liklayu Gavra, you should burn that man, cremation. He says that's what he wants to be done with his body after his death. It should be cremated. Ulevadrei likitme ashev yame, and you should spread the ashes on the 7 seas. Why? So that the God of the Jews will not be able to put him into judgment. He thought by spreading his ashes over the 7 seas, he would be safe from judgment. The Gemara continues with a related story. Uncles bar Kilonikos bar Achte de Titus. Uncles was the son of Klonikos, who's the son of Titus' sister, Bar Achte de Titus, Aviboila Gure. And Uncles wanted to become a ger, also Aske Letitos. And he came and he brought up the spirit of Titus bin Egida through a type of witchcraft. He brought back the spirit of Titus Arasha. Amar Le, and Uncles asks in Man Chashev Ayu Alma, who is Chashev in that world? Titus is Nifter in the next world. Amar Le, Titus Arasha responds, Yisrael the Yidin. Maulav the Kulbu. So Uncles asks Titus, should I cleave to them? Amar Le, so Titus responds, their laws are a lot and you're not going to fulfill them. Zil Agri. Go and attack them in that world, Vavis Risha, and you will become a leader. Dichsev Hayu Tzarel L'Roish, as the pasuk says that Hayu Tzarel, that the enemies have become leaders. So Tita says, Kol Ametzeli Yisrael, anyone who harms Klal Yisrael Nasa Roish. So Tita is fascinating. He's in the next world. He sees that all what it's about is Klal Yisrael, and still he's not able. Still he tells Uncles, no! Why would you become a ger? The opposite, attack them. And you become a roish, you become a leader. Amar Le, Uncle says to Titos, what is the judgment of that man, referring to Titus himself? Amar Le, so Titus responds, he is punished by the very thing about he himself. That what? Kol Yoma, every day. They gather together his ashes, and in the second line of Nun Zayinam and Aleph, the Katminu, they burn them. V'tayani lei, they gather and they judge him. V'kalu lei mavadra shev yama. Then he's burnt, and they spread the ashes over the 7 seas. Azal aske lebilam. So Uncles now goes and he does this witchcraft and he brings up Bilam Arasha ben Egida. Amar Le, man chashev Alma, who is chashev in the next world? Amar Le Yisrael. Maulad v'kubeu, and Uncles asked, should I cleave to them? Amar Le, lo yisidrash shaloimam. Do not get involved in their peace, v'ta'ivasam, and their goodness. Kol hayamim, all of your days. Amar Le, dana de ugavra b'mai. Bilam, what's your punishment? Amar Le, b'shichva zera reisachas rachmana litzlan. He is punished in boiling shechva zera and boiling semen. Azal askei v'negida le'boishi Yisrael. So Uncles first asks Titos, then he asks Bilam, and now he brings up the different sinners of Klal Yisrael. Amar Le, man chashev awal, who's chashev in the next world? Amar Le Yisrael, ma'ula kubahu. Should I cleave to them? Amar Le, toivasam deraish, ra'asam loitid raish. So the Rishayim, the sinners of Klal Yisrael, said, yes, indeed, get involved in their taiva, do not get involved in their harm. Whoever touches Klal Yisrael, if he touches his eye, that if you harm Klal Yisrael, you're harming yourself. Amar lei. So Unclis asks them, do you know what is your punishment? Amar lei. You know what our punishment is? With boiling feces. Anyone who scoffs, anyone who laughs, anyone who makes light and jestful of the words of the Chachamim, nidun b'tzayir. And comments the Gemara on the first one item, the Zayin Ma'al is Ta Chazi, come and see. Ma bein Baishi Yisrael and Nevi Umma Yisraelim. See the difference between even the Rishayim of Klal Yisrael, and the Nevi'im of Umma Yisraelim. Oiv de Avodah Zarah. Tanya, says the Gemara, we learned in our Braisa. Omar, Rav Lazar Barek Hamigidole Kil Chashal Busha. See the power of Busha. Shreisiyah Kodesh Baruch Hu Es Bar Kamsa Vechrivis Beisav V'Sarves Recholoi. Where did this all come from? This all stemmed from the fact that he was being embarrassed at that Suda, and that brought about the eventual destruction. Continues the Gemara. We said 3 stories that brought about catastrophic results. One was Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. The next was the rooster and the hen. Har HaMelech was destroyed. What's the story? They were accustomed when they would bring you out at the chasana, the chasan, and the kalab, and the kamayu, tarnegolav, tarnegalta, they would bring a rooster and a hen in front of them, kolaymar, to say, you should have children, you should be married to build a house of Klal Yisrael like the rooster. One day, 5 lines down the white lines, a band of Romans was passing by and sees the ceremony. And the Romans take the rooster and the hen, and the people fell and they killed the Romans. Also, the kids that came, they told the Caesar, the Gittin are rebelling. The Caesar came on the Yidden Har HaMelech and they were destroyed in battle. So we see that through this story of Tarnegol and Tarnegalta brought about terrible destruction to Klal Yisrael. Says the Gemara amongst the Yidden, there was a certain man from the Darum, from the south, who would jump a mill, and he was able to kill the Roman soldiers. Shakla Caesar, so Caesar took his crown and put it on the ground. Amar Nidavind, Rabbi Nadi Alma Kulei, the master of the entire world. If it's fitting to you, do not deliver that man, referring to himself, the Caesar, to this. Excuse me. Don't give over the Caesar and his entire people to the hands of one man. So this person from the south, his mouth was brought in the downfall. That it says, it is not you, Hashem, who has forsaken us. Do not go forth. So this person from the Daraim relied on his own kayach. He was so strong. And what happened ultimately, when you don't believe in Hashem, when you don't put the reliance on Hashem, you could be the most powerful, but Hashem removes it, and then there's no kayach at all. Asks the Gemara, what do you mean? David HaMelech seemingly said a similar pasuk. Answers the Gemara, David HaMelech said it in a way of a question, not in a way of that this is the way it was going to be. Continues the Gemara, so the southerner, this guy from the south, that originally had all this kayach, now went to the bathroom. Also, darokna, a snake came. Shamte lekarshe v'noch nafshei. He bit him in his bowels and he died. Amar, the Caesar said, "Oil actually Nisa. I see a miracle happen for me. Hazimna ish bekinu. I'm going to leave the Yidden alone this time. Shavkinu, he left him. Vazel Itkar. The Caesar left. And Itkar v'achlu v'shasu. The Yidden were very happy. V'deliku shargan. They lit candles at this chazei beluna. Dishu shpanka. Birachak mihila. Till you're able to see the geshpanka, the signorine a mile away. Rachak Mila Amar. So the Caesar says, what's going on here? Are the Yidden celebrating as if they beat me? Unfortunately, the Caesar came back and attacked again. Amar Avasi Tlasmi Alfei Shlifi Saifi Ailu the Torah Malka. Says Ravashi, 300,000 sword soldiers went up to Har HaMelech, and they massacred the people for 3 days, on 3 nights. On the other side of the mountain, they were celebrating because they didn't know. They didn't know about each other. One part of Klal Yisrael is celebrating, one part of Klal Yisrael is Rachmana litzlan, mourning. Says the Gemara, how many people lived in Har HaMelech? Bila Hashem v'loi chamal. It's called Neves Yaakov. Says the pasuk, Hashem consumed without pity all the dwellings of Yaakov. Ki asa Rav and Amar Rav Yechlan. Elu shishim riba yarosh hayolam lina HaMelech bar HaMelech. These are the 600,000 towns that Yanei HaMelech had in Har HaBayis. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav Asi. Shishim riboy ayaros aliyanei melech harabayim chol achas v'achas hayu ba kiyotzi mitzrayim. That as much money as those left in Mitzrayim chutz mishaloi shayu ba kfala, and 3 of them were double kiyotzi mitzrayim. Eluhein kfar bish kfar shachlayim kfar dichraya kfar bish tulav v'beisa l'shmiza. What was it called? Kfar bish is why it was a bish village, because they didn't give people a place to stay. Kfar shachalayim shayt burn the min shachalayim, because they were supported from Shachalayim selling cress. Kfar Dechraya, Omer Rav Yechon Shein Nishaseim Yoldois. Zacharim Techilav Yoldos Nekeva B'Achrayim. They first gave birth to boys and then girls, Upaisekes, and then they stopped having children. Omer Uli Dechazlehu Asra, says Ula, I saw that place, Har HaMelech, Vafilu Shitin Rivasa, Kani Eloi Machzik. It says Ula, there's no way he can even hold 600,000 reeds, let alone 600,000 towns. So Amar Lei, a little bit of a spill, okay. Amar Lei, who's Saduki the Rav Chanina? There's a Saduki that he said to Rav Chanina, Shakure Mishakrisu, you're lying. You said there's 600 towns, it's 600,000 towns, it's not possible. Amar Lei, Eretz Tzvi Ksiva. No, Eretz Yisrael, it's called Eretz Tzvi, the land of the deer. That what? Mat Tzvi Zeh, Ein Oire Machzik is Besara. If you take off the hide of a deer, it's too much, it wouldn't be able to wrap around its body. Av Eretz Yisrael, Zan Sheyoshvin Aleh Ravcha, Zan Shein Yoshvin Aleh Gamdo. When Klal Yisrael lives there, then they could fit, but if not, then they cannot fit. Continues the Gemara, about 25 lines at the bottom. The first one line is Rav Min Yumi. Rav Min Yumi bar Chalkalaya, Rav Chalkalaya bar Tuvia, Ravuna bar Achia, Haviyasi Gabi Adadi. So the Gemara continues. We're about, 20, 30 lines from the end of the Amud. The first word line is Rav. Rav Min Yumi bar Chalkalaya, Rav Chalkalaya bar Tuvia, Ravuna bar Achia. All these great Gedolim were sitting, Haviyasi Adadi were sitting together. They said, Ika Dishmiya Le Milsa Mechaber Sekan Yashel Mitzrayim Lema. If anyone heard something about the city of Kfar Chunya and Mitzrayim, speak up. Lema. So Pasachad Minayav Amar. They're trying to figure out what exactly happened with this city. Was this city destroyed? Another Roman city? Was this city destroyed because of they were rushed? They weren't good people? Was it due to their sin? Because what exactly happened? So one of them answers and he says, there was an engaged couple that was captured by the Goyim, and the Goyim put them together, and the wife says to her husband, don't touch me. It's true, we're married, but you don't have a ksuba, so we can't be together. He didn't touch at the end of the days. And when he died, we have to say a hesped on this man that he was able to conquer his Yitzhahara more than Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef one time went to his Yitzhahara, and this man called Yom HaVayema. Really, Yosef didn't sleep in one bed with Yosef, but he's fire. And this man was in one bed. It was his wife. This man was his wife, but of course it was his wife, but it was Be'isr, as without a ksuba, husband and wife are not allowed to be together. So that was one story. Another one opens his mouth, V'amar, Ma'isavam du arba'im, midyos b'dinar, that the currency was up to 40 midyos for a dinner. Nechzer ashar, Madia achas, and then the price went down by one Madia. Ubadku, they found the mat'avu b'nai, Rachman al-Aslan, Shabo al-Naira hamurasa. Both the father and son, they were together with a Naira, a girl that was engaged. B'yoim ha-kipurim, b'yur the-bezdin v'saklum. So Bezdin came out, Bezdin gave them skila of a chazar hashalem kaimai, and then the shar, the marketplace, went back after they got the kapara from the skila of this husband and father and son. He wanted to divorce his wife. Ksuba was too much. So what do you do? He invited his friends over. He gave them tea, and he gave them to drink shikron. And he made all these people drunk. And he put them all to sleep in one bed with his wife. And then he took a white of an egg and he put a vehitel b'neim and he put on the bed. And he placed Eidim there. And he claimed that these men were mizana with his wife, as you can see from the white of the egg, which has the same resemblance as shechva zera. And therefore he claimed his wife was mizana. Therefore she has to get a ksuba. So he came to Bezdin. There was one elder of Shammai Zakin Ubaba and Buta Shemai. Amr Lehen Kach Miklani Mishamai Zakin. So Baba and Buta says, I had the following Kabbalah. Luban Beitza, the white of an egg, Soilad Minahar. But however, Shechla Zera is Doicha Minahar. Even though the Levin Shal Beitza looks exactly like Shechla Zera, but they have different reactions to fire. The Levin Shal Beitza is burnt up from the fire, whereas Shechva Zera is pushed away from the fire. Baltku Matzke Dvarav. They found that the husband was lying, and they gave him malchus, and they caused the husband to pay the ksuba. So, from all these stories, what do we see? We see that the people were quite righteous. We see that even the virus that they did, they took action, etc. So, Amalei Abaye, he says, Abaye, Rav Yosef Umeacher, Davis Adikim Kuli Hai, my time Yanish. So, why was this city of Sechania destroyed? Amalei, Misham Doliaval Yushalayim. It's true they were righteous, but they were not misabel. They didn't mourn on Yushalayim property. Dechsev, Simchas Yushalayim, Gilu Ba, Kolei Avel, Sisu Atam, Masais Kolam Sablu Malel. We're getting closer to the 9 days. We have to take the chizek to be misabel properly on Yushalayim. Continues the Gemara, the third story that Rav Yechon mentioned, in which led to calamity. Ashka deriskwa charev Beitar. Why was Beitar destroyed? Because of the side of a carriage, literally. What's the story? They had a custom, they knew when a child would be born. Shitli arza, they would plant a cedar tree. Yinikusa, shali tarnita. And when a female, when a girl was born, they would plant a pine tree. When they got married, and they would take these two trees and they make the wedding canopy from them. So one day, have a kachalfi brate the Caesar. The carriage of the Caesar was coming through. And what happened? Itvar shaka de rispak. The side of the carriage of this royal carriage broke. Cut to ours, they cut down a cedar tree, and they used it to fix the carriage. Also, nafal alayu mechonyu. The Yidden came upon, and the Yidden hit them. What are you doing? The cedar tree is a chash of a cedar tree. It's going to eventually be used in a chuppah. Also, the case and they said, Caesar, the Yidden are rebelling. Of course, the Yidden should not have attacked them because they took a tree, and this reckless action, as we're about to see, resulted in Beitar's ultimate destruction. As the Psukim continue 5 lines from the end of the Amid, on Zayin Amin Aleph, Kata B'chari Av Kol Keren Yisrael, Hashem cut down in fierce anger all of the Keren, all of the dignity of Klal Yisrael. Amr Rav Ziyam Ravu, Amr Rav Yechanan. What is referred to as the Shemayim Elef Karnei Melchama. This is the 80,000 leaders. They entered into Beitar when it was captured, and they murdered men, women, and children. The blood flowed all the way to the Mediterranean Sea, to the Yam HaGadol. Maybe you'll think the Yam Melech was close. It's not true. Rachaik is far away. Mil Tanya Rav Lezer Gadol Aimer, 2 lines on the bottom. Says Rav Eliezer, there are 2 rivers in the valley of Bikas Yodayim. Echad Moishech ve'echad Moishech Elach. They flow either ways. The Sharach Chachamim, Shnei Chalak Yamayim. You know how much blood was there? It was 2 parts water. Ve'echad Dam. From all those that were killed in Beitar, that for 7 years the Goyim were able to, as Karmeim were able to nourish their fields, their vineyards, B'daman Shal Yisrael, from the blood of the Yidden that flowed below Zevel. They didn't need any fertilizer due to the waters that were flowing with blood from the murders of Klal Yisrael. Continues the Gemara on the top line of Nun Zayin Amud Beis. Amar Rav Chia bar Ravin, Amar Rav Yeshua ben Karcha. Sachli Zaken Echad, one elder told me on Jewish Lion Bebikazu. Harag Nevuzradon Rav Tabachim. In this valley in Nevuzradon, the chief executioner murdered how many? Masayim ve'echas esrei riboi. 211 myriads, which is 2.1 million people. B'Yerushalayim Arek Tishim v'Arba riboi. 94 riboi, 940,000 al even achas on one stone. Rachman al the murder that was carried out at the Zman of the Churban Bayis Rishon. The blood was flowing, the blood touched the blood of Zechariah Navi. Like I imagine Emar to fulfill the pasuk. Blood will touch blood. The blood of Zechariah 210 years later is still bubbling. What's going on over here? No, it's just the blood of Karbanis. I see dam of Laidmu. So they brought the blood of, this is Nevuzadion, who's coming and he's trying to figure out what's going on over here. So he brings Karbanis, he brings the animals, but it doesn't look like the blood of Zechariah Navi. Amr lahu imritali mutav. If you tell me great, v'lav masrikna lebesreicha b'misriki de barzali. I'm going to comb your flesh with iron combs. Amr le, they said to him, my name alacha, what should we tell you? Navi ave bahen davi kam muchach lan b'mili dishmaya. We had a Navi who was giving teichacha kaman eluvei v'katlin alain. They killed him. V'kamashni, and so the Vazradion asked, and how many years? How many years has it been that his blood is sitting here boiling? Amar leho, they responded, Anam fasin alei. The Vizradin said, it's so many years, I'm going to appease it. I see Sanhedrin, he brought the great Sanhedrin and the minor Sanhedrin and he murdered all of them. The blood didn't stop bubbling. He killed the children. ICT Naika shall be Israel in the first very word line, and the blood of and the blood of Zechariah keeps on bubbling. Amar le, son of Ezradion says, Zechariah, toivim shebem avadatim. The greatest ones in Klal Yisrael have been lost. Nichel echad, you want avdinu lekulei, that should kill all of Klal Yisrael, kedamar le hachi nach. And when he said that, the blood stopped bubbling. Ba'ishaita. At that moment, here tshuva b'daite, this Nevuzradyon, the Babylonian executioner, who just finished murdering millions and millions, who just found the blood of Zechariah bubbling, and he killed the Sanhedrin, and he killed the Bachrim, and he killed the Reish Rabban. And now, all of a sudden, the blood starts bubbling. I hear a thought of tshuva enters his mind, and Amar, he says, Umam al nefesh achas kach. One yid, one nefesh of Klal Yisrael is worth so much. You see how many yidden died. He says, I about himself. How many yidden did I kill? Arak, he got up, Azal, and he ran away. Shadar Shtar Pratarasal Vibesi, he sent a document to his house to tell him what to do. V'gayer, and he became a ger. Tana, we learned Naaman ger Taishav Ayad Nivuz Radion. Ger Tzedekaya, Mimnei Banav Shel Haman Lamdu Torah, all the famous Geir and the children of Haman learned Torah, Bimnei Brak, Bimnei Banav Shel Sisra, Limdu Tinaikas B'Yushalayim, Bimnei Banav Shel Sacherev, Limdu Torah of Rabbim. Ma Yinon, who were the children of Sacherev, Shemaya V'Atalion, Haino Dechsev and Asati Es Damam Al Sechyoi, Sela Lebilti Akisois, Akol Bilti Akisois. So we see the incredible story of Nivuz Radion, how he realized, how he had to hear a tshuva, and he became a ger. Continues the Gemara, Kol Kol Yaakov Adayim De'esav Akol Zeh. What does this refer to? Adreinus Kesar. This voice is the voice of Adreinus Kesar. Shaharag B'El Sanjish Al Mitzrayim Shishim Riboy Al Shishim Riboy. He killed 600,000 plus another 600,000 Kiflayim. Yot Mitzrayim, double the amount of people left Mitzrayim. Kol Yaakov. This is Kol Yaakov Zes Pain Nisios Kesar. Shaharag B'Krach Beitar Arba Me'ois Riboy. 400 Riboy, which we know means 4 million people. Some say it was 40 million people. 10 lines into the very wide lines. First one line is Harsha. What's another? But tefillah works, that means that's coming from a yid of the Zerah of Yaakov. Any Melchama that's successful is the descendant of Esav. From here, says Rav Elazar, when the tongue is short, you should hide. What does that mean? From slander. You have to hide. As we saw such a terrible story, this is going all the way back to the story of Kamsa Bar Kamsa that was brought back through Rechilus. Continues the Gemara, Rav Yudah Meram, what is the meaning of the Pasuk Al Nahar is Bavel? Sham Yashavnu Gam Bachinu B'Zachinu Asiyin Milamin. What does this teach? HaKadosh Baruch Hu LeDavid Chorban Bayis Rishon V'Chorban Bayis Sheni Chorban Bayis Rishon Yitzhak David HaMelech Shneimar Al Daras Bavel Shem Yishan Gam Dachinu Bayis Sheni Dachsev Zachar Shanam Ne'edem Yisrael Yishayim Amr Rad Yisrael Ba Amr Rav Yudah Mer Shmuel V'Yitem Ravam V'Amr Lam Rasid Dana Ma'isa B'Dalin Me'az Yiladim V'Yilad Janashu B'Kailan. They were captured to do Aveira Yisek Yushabat, so they realized Lama Hin Mitzbakishim. What do they want to do with them? Amru, they said, Imanu, Toivim Bayam, Anaban Chayolam Abba, will we come to Olam Abba, Darshan Magadol Shabam, the oldest one of them, Darshan Amar Hashem Avshan Hashiv, Hashem Sulas Yam, Mivshan Hashiv Mi Bain Shinei Aryeh, Hashem Sulas Yam, Elish Tovim Bayam, those who drowned at sea, they don't want to do this Aveira. So when the children heard that they'll go to Olam Haba if they don't commit this terrible crime, Kim Sheshamu Yiladais Kach, Kavsu Kulan, the girls committed suicide, so they will not have to be over in Zinos. Nasu Yiladim Kavachayim. Now the Yiladim are left on the boat, and they knew that also going to make them do Zinos, but with each other, with the males themselves, Mishkav Zachar, Ba'atzon Vamr Ma'al, Alu Shetarka the Kach. If girls, it's their derech, and yet this is what they should do. Anu, and have him, so the boys also jump into the river. Because Ragnu Kol Ayoim Nachshamnu Ketzain Tifcha. Rav Yudah Omer, Suisha, you know this is referring to Chana, Shuisha V'Shiva Banel. It's referring to Chana and her 7 sons. I see you the case they brought the kid in front of the Caesar. Says the Torah, they said, okay, of course, they took him out and killed him. Made the case. They brought another son to case. The title. Of course, they took him out and killed him. Also, child number 3. Of course, they cut. Also, they brought the 4th child. Armaduk Sibater Luzachrav Kovikatlu. Also later wrote the 5th child, Armaduk Chavim, Armaduk Kazabater Shais, Armaduk Kinushav Kovikatlu. Also later Amrule, Paul Levis Chavim, Armaduk Sibatera, Viadat, Ayom Chasal Vakishem Loikim, Bashmayim Avalar, as Midach as Inoid of Kovikatlu. Also later they brought the final 7th son, Armaduk Paul Levis Chavim, Armaduk Sibatera, Shema Marta Yom Megaimer, Shema Mirchayim. Kvar nishbanu l'Hakadosh Baruch Hu, she'ein anu ma'avir naisai b'kel acher. We will not change Hashem for another God. V'afu nishba lanu, and Hashem swore to us, she'ein ma'avir naisai nu b'macher samar lei kezar. Ishtadu l'chushpunka. So the Caesar said, fine, you don't want to bury down? No problem. We know what you should do, says the Caesar. At least I'm going to throw, I'm going to throw my ring to you. And bend down v'shakli, and just pick it up. That's it. So people will think that you accept the Bamei Malchus. I'm like, Chavol alecha Kizar, Chavol alecha Kizar. A kavod atzcha kach al kavod HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Alechas kama kama. The mother said, Yavun the Elai, Nashkenu Porta, with this we conclude, give me my son, let me kiss him a little bit, Amrle Benai, Lechu go up, Amrle Rama Avichem, Ato, you have Rama Avinu, Akadatim Mizbecha Echad, Vani Akadatim Shiva Mizbecha Safi also Ligag, and this woman goes up to the roof of Nafel and she jumps down, Umesa, Yatza Baskal Amr, Aim, Habanim, Semicha, the credible story. She had the koyach to lead the 7 sons to Mikadeshim Shemayim. We'll pick it up from Shub and Levi in the next year. B'siyata Dishmaya.